Hey everybody, good morning. Welcome to your 15-minute weather here on Kare 11 Plus. I'm meteorologist Courtney Aitken. I have meteorologist Jamie Kagol with me this morning.
Little cameo.
Chat about all the things. It was a really active weekend. We got a ton of snow. Biggest snowfall of the season, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So, and behind that, we've had a ton of wind. I actually want to start with that. So we'll go to our time lapse this morning, starting dark and early. Watch closely. You can kind of see the camera even shaking around a little bit, even before the sun comes up. Sunrise this morning, right around 7:30. But it was a windy start to the day, and that is a big part of why it was so cold. Our feels like temperatures have been in the negatives all morning. Actual air temperatures in the single digits, but you can see we had wind gusts in the Twin Cities, 36 miles per hour, 51 down in Rochester, 49 in Jackson. And but you know, those are some of the same areas where the road conditions are really bad from yesterday still.
Yeah, they've been terrible. They had blizzard warnings all day, all of last night. I know they were canceling them as the morning went on, but that blowing snow, and you're going to find historically, you're going to find the strongest winds, the strongest wind gusts typically are going to be the western half of our state, especially as you get out towards Ortonville, Marshall, Jackson area. You'll find some very strong winds there all the time. And with the terrain there, the rolling hills, again, you're just asking for that low visibility, the blowing snow, drifting snow. So road conditions, very difficult to maintain in that part of the region there, with those kind of winds. So yeah, those wind gusts through this morning, look at that, mid-30s. So
mid-30s, and that was just after midnight, it looks like. And we had additional wind gusts, it looks like 4 a.m. And then it was cold and windy in the backyard. I'll say that. We're kind of lucky when we're outside. It's pretty sheltered out there, but you can definitely feel when the wind picks up.
Yeah.
And we noticed that yesterday while the snow was coming down. I think that might be my next graphic. It's not. That's okay. Today's low temperature, 6. Okay, but it felt a whole lot colder than that. We had wind chills throughout the morning, making it feel like negative numbers. And some of the state, Bemidji got down to -8 this morning.
Yeah.
So with that snow on the ground, with the winds whipping, definitely felt really chilly. Okay, here we go. We were both in yesterday tracking the snow, and I think it was right when we crossed paths that we had just found that 21-inch report in Mondovi.
Mondovi, Wisconsin, Zumbro Falls in Minnesota there. When you get to the Mississippi River Valley, southeast Minnesota, that area, that's where those numbers, Pepin, Wisconsin, Lake City, Pine Island, Wabasha, those are all in that part of our region. And just the numbers skyrocketed into the teens, low 20s. We were even watching eastern Wisconsin yesterday. As things were winding down here, okay, what's going on to the east of us? And it was Wausau. We were watching Wausau cross the 2-foot mark yesterday.
2 feet.
As the snow was finally wrapping up right in the middle of Wisconsin, Wausau, 2 feet of snow. We were watching for upper 20s in eastern Wisconsin, parts of the UP of Michigan. Unbelievable. And then the system was throwing up severe thunderstorms and tornado warnings all across Missouri, Arkansas, Illinois, Tennessee. Just a really powerful system. And then these were the numbers I found a little closer to the Twin Cities area. And I'd say on average, our numbers range from about 6 inches to 12 inches. And there's some outliers. Apple Valley, Prior Lake, crossed that 1-foot mark. As you can see there, 13.2, 13.7, 10.5 in Savage, Rosemont, just shy of 10 inches there. MSP officially came in with a storm total 8.8, and yesterday's total, what I saw, I don't know if you saw any new numbers this morning, 3.8. So 5 inches of it fell on Saturday, 3.8 fell on Sunday. We didn't break the record.
I know.
Either day. Can you believe that?
For either day. And I thought that we did. I was so convinced that we did. And then I actually saw the graphic that you made. And I was like, wow.
We went through all that and we didn't get a record out of it. I think the record for Saturday was 7+ inches, and we got 5.
That sounds right. Yep.
And then yesterday's record is 5, and we got 3.8. So we went through a big snowstorm, or the biggest of our season, and we didn't get any records out of it.
Pretty wild. But we did add to our snow depth significantly. So for I think really all of March so far, this is how it's looked.
Yeah.
And I think this is how the map looked for a pretty good part of February too.
Tail end of February, we saw a lot of melting. December, January, February, we went through really cold temperatures, snowfall, and then big warm-ups and melting. And we did that 3 months in a row. So yeah, the second half of February pretty much looked pretty close to this. We were melting snow here in the Twin Cities, but it's been looking like this for the better part of 2, almost 3 weeks.
Yeah, little by little, we got our snow depth down to a trace and then just nothing. Well, that all changed yesterday. Don't blink, there it is. I mean, look at Wisconsin.
Yeah.
That area in the white, what is that line up with 36 inches plus?
Yeah.
That's pretty remarkable.
And Wausau, if you look on the right-hand side of your screen, you see a blue interstate going north. At the top of that's Interstate 39, and that's Wausau. Right in there. So that's about where we saw that 2-foot mark, and that was an actual measurement. This is estimated data, but it gives you a good idea of what's going on and where it's happening and things like that. And you can see it's actually changed even a little bit from yesterday. We had some of that brighter pink around the Twin Cities, Dakota County. So that's even gone down. The snow is compacting a little bit.
Sure.
The wet, heavy stuff will do that. We'll start to see it melting today. The roads will clear off. We'll get the asphalt warmed up with that sunshine that's out there. So.
And really, after tomorrow, we don't really have snow in the forecast. So snow depth over the last 2 weeks has been pretty much non-existent.
There you go.
We had 1, and then 0 again, and then 7, or 7 is the date. Or what am I thinking? What am I looking
7,
at?
yeah, that's the depth.
7 is the depth.
There you go.
15, 7, and now we're kind of falling back down again. So it'll be interesting to see what happens, but this is also some really interesting data. Snowfall so far now exceeding average, just barely for the Twin Cities, and that comes after we've been behind schedule for the past few weeks.
Yeah, Duluth, I'll point this out for Duluth. Duluth about 2 weeks ago was way behind average. I think they were approaching 1.5 foot behind average for a time there, because every once in a while I'll use this graphic just to kind of give you a benchmark. Hey, this is where we're at with snowfall. And Duluth was just way behind. But in the last week or so, they've really tallied up some pretty impressive snowfall. They've had blizzard warnings up there. The Arrowhead has been getting hit pretty hard at times. We were maintaining close to average. We'd fall a little bit behind. We'd make up a little bit room. But this storm put us over average so far. Now we still have to get through March and a little part of April before we kind of plateau out at about 51, 52 inches. That's our seasonal average. So if we get no more snow, we'll end up a few inches behind. And you can see right there, December is our snowiest, followed by January into February. March 8.2, and so far we're at 8.8.
Yeah, so I think if anything, what we had yesterday was a little bit of that reality check. It's a reminder that it's still winter and our snowfall doesn't really drop off until April. I mean, going from 11 down to 9 to 5, 9 to 5 down to 8.2. We're seeing those little decreases, but March into April, 8.2 down to 3.5. That's a really significant drop off.
I mean, you can see April and October really are kind of outliers. Those are freak storm systems that have cold enough air that we get the snow. And there's your average snowfall, 51.2. But yeah, March, we are still in the depths of our snow season, no doubt about it. And for anyone who has lived in Minnesota for a little while, you just come to expect a big March snowstorm, a lot of times right in the middle of the month. And it's like, you have that March snowstorm, and then that taxes are due the next month. The two are coming at you.
That's funny.
March, and then April, you see that 3.5. April's always one of those where you're like, believe it or not, folks, here we go. It's probably in the first week of April, though. I think the last 2 or 3 winters we've had something between April 1st and April 6th. Okay. Typically, hasn't been big storm systems, but it is a big, it just kind of lets you down.
It's humbling for sure.
That's a good word. My brain's still warming up at this hour, trying to come up with words. But
and mine's running out of steam, so this is where we meet in the middle. We're bridging the gap.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, later this week, we're less than a week out from the official start of spring, but you know, there is still some winter to be had.
March is the month where you're like, okay, here it comes. April's the month where you're like, oh, really? You know, that's kind of the feeling you get.
Yeah, people are fed up at that point.
Cabin fever is really kicking in.
It's a real thing. Good news, though, we're seeing a lot of improvements on the roads. Look at all that green in the Twin Cities Metro, up towards St. Cloud as well. Roads are finally getting back to normal.
Yeah.
But if you expand the view out, you can see red and purple down to the south. So with the red, those roads are closed and or impassable. So you're not going to have any luck traveling there. And then where you have the purple down towards Rochester, even in the area of La Crosse, that's where they're just really heavily discouraging travel. So there are lingering impacts. It's not snowing today. It's not going to, but that snow may blow around a little bit. And those side roads, I think that's what I had trouble with earlier this morning. And I think that's what folks may run into the rest of today too.
It's a tough part of the state to keep the roads clear. Blowing snow is going to be a problem. And that just verifies why there was a blizzard warning there. Certainly justified. But I will say this, you and I have both lived in different states. And if you live in another state where they get snow and you see the snow plows, and then you come here, you'll realize MnDOT does a very, very good job.
Oh, yeah.
Very good job.
Typically
within about 24 hours, your roads are going to be, outside of big snowstorms, your roads are going to be clear. Mm-hmm. This one is going to take a little bit longer. This was a bigger storm system for us, late season, wet, heavy, icy conditions. So the roads are going to need a little more care, but it is impressive how quickly MnDOT gets the roads in good running order. This one will take a little bit longer, though, again, given that you had double-digit snowfall totals around the Rochester area. Not surprising that no travel is advised there. So
sure, I agree. Though it is impressive, and that's something that we talked about throughout the morning program. Jason and I kind of talked about that because he's lived in Oklahoma, I've lived in Texas, and if this type of thing happened there, you wouldn't leave home for a week. So yes, seeing improvements and on the satellite as of late morning. Nothing going on here locally, but I've been watching this morning. Wisconsin still getting some snow this morning. We had our morning reporter Megan at the airport this morning, and she was talking to folks who were hoping to get to Green Bay, and they told her that they were told it's not going to happen. So
it's still coming down.
Still coming down, really active. I don't know if you saw the SPC, the Storm Prediction Center's outlook for today for the East Coast, but it looks like it could be a rough day for those folks with that line headed their way. It was certainly a rough yesterday for, again, Missouri, Arkansas, New Orleans, Louisiana, Tennessee, Illinois. Just You could skip from Lake Michigan to the Gulf of Mexico, going from severe thunderstorm warning to tornado warning to severe thunderstorm warning, and not touched the ground. The way the boxes were all lined up, it was incredible. A very, very busy day. But we're quiet on the home front. That will change with our next system coming in, so we can kind of track that out. Also worth mentioning, it's a lot colder today. I mean, it feels colder because of the wind, but even those actual temperatures are a whole heck of a lot colder than what we had yesterday. We stayed dry through the day today, but again, that will change over the course of the next 24 hours. By the way, I thought this was interesting. On this date, back in 1930, the high temperature was 71. We're thinking 18 today. So a very different setup. March will do that to you. March will do that to you. -4 tomorrow morning. I don't know if I can remember the last time we were in the sub-zero neighborhood, but I feel like it's been a while. I think you'd have to look to the first half of February for that. That sounds right. It's been a while. Yeah, so for now, cold and windy, sub-zero late tonight. Later on, meaning tomorrow, we've got some light snow. Could line up with your Tuesday evening commute. 1 to 2 inches of accumulation looking to be possible at this point. Time flies when you have two of us here. This is amazing. I love this so much. Here's your 7-day forecast. Windy and clearing out today. Does look like we'll have some light snow tomorrow evening. What do you think, 1 to 2 inches? You know, the models have really suggested that. Pretty consistent for the past couple of days, about 1 to 2. It doesn't look like it's a quick moving system. It's
not going to have a lot of moisture to work with.
Not like what we had yesterday.
No,
So that is the good news.
Easy peasy, folks. Easy
exactly.
peasy.
In comparison, easy peasy.
Yeah.
First day of spring is Friday, so happy spring in advance. We'll see you later.